Mr. V in Mafia Manager called Yakap on the Titikapi. Became a worse godfather than every other.
To TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria Space TV and join our online.
There is a general notion that there is risk in the Ember month. There is the fear that people die more in the Ember month. There's the fear that, so many outrageous things happen in the Ember month. Today on The Breakfast Show, we will be talking about the myth of the Ember month. And, I had Silver here a few moments ago. I also have Mr. Osaser on set. He will be discussing with us the myth of the Ember month. So I want to start off, first of all, when you think of the Ember month, for you personally, do you think something's about to happen?
Personally, I don't. It's just like every other month to me.
Okay.
There's a lot of conversation going on around that level, saying, the Ember month is this, it's filled with a lot of mysteries and all that, but I don't think that's true.
Okay.
I think people's psychology have just been wired to think and believe that, there's something, mysterious about the Ember month and all, but it's not true.
Okay.
Basically, because a lot of activity goes on. Companies do their annual year meeting, whatever it's called. Those in meetings and all of that want to meet up, and then the drivers also want to meet up, and it's just like, whoa, okay, the Ember month is here and we've not achieved anything. Okay. So it's like the rat race we've been running since January, it's triplicated. So everybody wants to meet up, and you can't have all of that without a level of maybe road accidents and all of those things coming in play, so usually when people rush about things like that, when people rush, when they want to meet up by all means, then it means people will have to compromise, the road safety and all of those guys will have to compromise because they themselves are also affected in the rat race. They want to meet up for the Ember month. They've got school fees to pay, they've got clothes to buy for their children and stuff like that.
I understand that, people have different things they want to achieve, but who do we then blame? Because you cannot say that the myth is almost true, because towards the end of the year a lot of things happen. I mean, there are more accidents, there are more people rushing to try and meet up. So how do we say, okay, this is not, because there's several accidents, like crazy ones.
Like Osasiri rightly said, most times people are in a hurry to get to places, like travelers, people going to the village for Christmas and trying to meet up. So most times the drivers are not really careful when driving. People are in a haste, so accidents tend to happen.
Okay.
It's nobody's fault actually. It's the carelessness of the drivers and also the road condition in Nigeria. It is not really good.
Okay.
There's some places that are not motorable. So when passing there, if two cars are coming, they might collide. So nobody's fault.
So are we not blaming it on the road? Because there is a general fear of the Ember month.
It's psychology, like
exactly.
Okay.
Most people, growing up as a child, I always heard my auntie be like, "Careful, it's Ember month. People die. They kidnap people, And then I get scared. But then when growing up, I got to realize that it's just what they say. I've not seen it happen to anybody. So most times
it's just an idea. So how can we debunk this idea? Do we, because it's a fear, it's been passed on from generation. I heard a lot of things about the Ember month. First of all, let's not even talk about the fact that if by the end of the year you have not achieved anything, something is wrong with you. Because that was the one I experienced for on the whole accident and if you it's September, all the goals you set January, where are they? What happened to them? And that craze. So how do we debunk the idea and remove this fear from people not to believe that?
First and foremost, let me say this. There's the pressure that society puts on each and every one of us. And you can see that play out on our New Year resolutions. So by this year, we want to get married. By this year, we want to buy a new car. By this year, we want to... And so the reality that we've not been able to do that which we've said we will do by the end of the year, it's more or less going to dawn on most people by the end of August. Because the Ember month reminds us that, hey, we're closer to the end of the year, and I said I was going to get married this year. I said I was going to... Do you understand? I said I was going to... So people just want to ensure that they are able to still meet up. And so you see that play out in their activities, what they do, the compromises they have to make. You know, you see drivers who would normally run 5 trips on the road. They want to do 10, they want to do 15. And by trying to do that, they are going to increase their speed. You know, they are going to be careless in their driving. And then they are going to more or less tip the lightsman and the road safety and all of that, you know, to excuse them for their excesses. So, if you look at all of, all that cannot go on with everyone, and you don't expect a level of consequence at the end of the day. So, in debunking this, I think people's psychology needs to be reoriented actually, in that we should understand that if you set it's goals, right? Like you didn't kill anybody. If you set goals for yourself and at the end of the day you're not able to meet up, it's fine. And I think society should begin to teach people that it's fine. It's okay to fail, right? It's okay to set goals and not meet up to those goals. Nobody is going to kill you for it, right? You just need to go back, sit down, see what you've done, see what you need to do, and then see what you can do because of those 2 gaps, right? So if people have this in their consciousness, then they will know that it's not a do or die affair. Because at the end of the day, it is who is well that can donate blood. You need capacity to even live. If you don't have 2 legs anymore, you won't want to buy a car anymore, right? So I think people need to have this in their consciousness while they go on with their daily activities, you know. And then at various authority center institutions, the schools, the churches and all of that, you know, there's this thing during the Ember month that happens, and churches hold, I'm sorry, this is not against, you know, a particular denomination or something, but churches hold crusade, fasting and prayers and all of that. That's good, but that in itself is also telling the people that, hey, look, these things are happening, they are reality. And so people live with the fear of, I don't want to have an accident, I don't want this to happen. And what you fear most would usually become your outcome. So I think we should find a way to balance that, teach people knowledge, let people understand the wisdom to keep calm, and understand that nobody is going to kill you if you don't buy a car because you said you buy a car at the end of, you know. So.
Okay, so Silva, how do we debunk the general idea of, you know, the fear of the Ember month? I mean, you said that growing up, kept telling you that, be careful, you know, there's every step on the way. So how do we debunk that idea?
Just like Osasiri has rightly said, it's about knowledge. You educate people on, you know, the reality that if you're not careful, certain things will happen to you. So, like in the case of accidents, you tell them if you're in a vehicle, the drivers are driving carelessly, you need to caution them, tell them to, you know, slow and steady. Definitely you get to where you want to get to. And then cases of, you know, not achieving your goals. Like we rightly said last week when we talked about you know, New Year resolutions. Just because you have not achieved certain things this year does not mean you won't achieve them next year. Just stay alive to get next year, and then definitely you'll achieve your goals.
Okay, so another thing that I've noticed about the Ember month is the quest to have more money. And then when people go out and say, I want to have more money, like as I say, for example, I'm going to use you, can say that by the end of this year, I want to become the next CEO of one company, and then he begins to set things, and then, I feel that what do we do about the unnecessary tension and fear that we find ourselves most times towards the Ember month? Because September, October, November, December, people are afraid that they might die, they may lose a loved one, that fear, I feel that we've said it's a mindset, but what do we do about the fear as individuals? Because churches would hold programs, which I'm not saying is wrong. People would visit different places to find solution and make sure they are fortified and all that. Because sometimes we just leave it to church, but there are other things that people do to make sure that, this happens. So how do we help people with those such fears?
The first thing is the human nature. It's ironical. The human nature loves security, but at the same time, it does everything contrary to being secured. So, at the end of the year, people set goals, people set resolutions, and people say they want to do this and they want to do that. Now, that in itself, it's not bad, but the truth is, people don't even understand what a goal and a resolution should be. Now, anything that you do or any goal that you set that is not tied to your actions and activity, you have to be careful about those kind of things. Because if you, for instance, say you want to get married this year, now you've made that within you, okay, a lot of things need to come in place to make that happen, right? You need to find a bride. The bride's family needs to be on the same page with you. Your family needs to be on the same page with you and with the bride and with the family. Everything just more so have to be on the same page. So when you set that kind of resolution or that kind of goal, you find that at the end of the day, issues might happen between your family and the family of the bride, which you may need to deal with. And that in itself can frustrate you to the point of, wanting to do something crazy or silly, right? So I advise people, set goals, set resolutions, but if it is tied to a third party, then make sure you set a structure that ensure that you don't get weary at the end of the day if it doesn't go as planned. Now that's for that. Now, if people can take care of that, then the unnecessary pressure will not have to come, because nobody has to pressure me. Particularly the Ember month now, it's Christmas, the New Year is coming, the Eve is coming, where young men would want to drink themselves to stupor, Christmas, they have a lot of responsibility. Young men want to show off, they want to buy their girlfriend a lot of things, particularly those that have multiple of them. They still need to send money home to parents. They still need to do all of that. So you find out that by the time you look at all of these, they just want to meet up. So they will do anything within their, I was on a public transport one time, and the driver was driving recklessly. He was going to overtake a trailer coming directly. So in his mind, he will quick me down. And the people in the bus, which would have normally called him to order and say, hey, look, slow down and all, they were excited about it because they themselves want to get to where they were going on time. So at that point, it showed me how desperate people can be at a particular time of the year and all of that. And then the driver rounded all of that Fast and Furious, thing and said, we never make balance money today. So, that kind of a thing.
But
and
that's an excuse for the
trust me, if he's like that, I'm sure most of his colleagues are also like that too. So it tells you where we are in safety of our own lives. So we want to get everything at the detriment of our own lives, and at the, it's okay to sacrifice your life for what you want to get.
Yes.
But when you now do that at the detriment of others, you understand, and then these others don't even care.
Okay.
So it tells you where we are as a country. So I think we should understand that societal pressure is societal pressure. It's always going to be there.
Okay.
Our lives is what matters at the end of the day.
All right.
Right? What you can do is what you can do. If you can make a lot of money, fine. If you can't do that, it's fine also.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much, Mr. Say. Silva, so what do you think? How do you think we can handle this here as we're wrapping up?
Okay, well, and then generally in Nigeria, Christmas celebration is something that every family wants to do. Get Christmas clothes for the younger children, make new hair and all. But if you cannot afford to, do not kill yourself. Do not put yourself under unnecessary pressure, because the celebration of Christmas is actually the birth of Jesus. Salvation doesn't necessarily mean you have to wear the best of clothes. You can just combine, Just do not put yourself under pressure as the year draws to an end. And then for transportation, you cannot overemphasize being careful on the road, because the road is bad and then safety is not guaranteed. So always be careful when you ply the road. Okay. And then for all those trying to achieve goals, please do not carry out fraudulent activities because you want to please other people. You are not in competition with anybody but yourself. So don't be under pressure. Just keep doing what makes you happy. And then about people dying in September, there's something a friend of mine told me. If it's not your time, you will not die.
Okay.
Yes. And then I believe that most of us would live long. So just be careful and always pray so that something unfortunate doesn't happen.
Okay, so it's been a very interesting conversation today. I'm sure we have our own thoughts on this matter. The Ember Month comes with so much fears, but you do not need to be afraid of the Ember Month, because it's just another month of the year. It's just another time to do more for yourself and achieve more for yourself. Thank you very much for joining us today on The Breakfast Show. Do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also we always have interesting programs every weekday, from The Breakfast Show to The Big Five to The Grill and to Popcorn. Join us this weekend for more exciting shows on TSL Nigeria TV. Till we come your way tomorrow for another very amazing time on The Breakfast Show. Do have a lovely day.